Hello, third graders. I'm recording this for those of you who missed our live session. So, today in reading, we talked a lot about personal connections to books. And we also talked about growth mindset and perseverance because that's important. As readers, we need to believe in ourselves and believe in the power of yet and know that reading is hard and can be challenging, but that's okay. Our minds are growing from those mistakes that we're going to make. So, in the story, The Dot, you're going to see Mrs. Gosnell model making personal connections, also connections with the world around us, and also text-to-text connections. This book reminds me a lot of the book we read the other day called The First Day Jitters. So let's get started. And remember, all of these connections help you really get lost in what you're reading. And that's the purpose of reading, is to get lost in it, to have it take you away. And that's what our goal is for reading. It's our time to escape from our reality and dive in to a good book. This book is called The Dot. And guess what? It's National Dot Day. That's a text to world connection. I just connected this text to the world around me.
Dot.
Oop. Did you know that Epic has the ability to do that? If you get stuck on a word in Epic, don't you worry. You can hit on it and it tells you what it is. I want you to pay attention to our main character here. Our main character's name is Vashti. And Vashti, she starts off in this book with a fixed mindset. Let's listen. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. See the colors here? They're kind of gloomy and blue. She's not feeling too good about whatever she had to do. Let's find out more. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. A polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Ugh, wow. Sounded like her teacher was being positive, but Vashti is not. She doesn't seem to believe in herself. But the teacher kind of reminds me of Mr. Hartwell in our story, The First Day Jitters. He was that person in there that inspired Sarah, which turned out to be his wife. We thought that Sarah was a kid. We didn't find out she was a teacher until later in the book. But I remember how he inspired her to have a growth mindset and to push through her fears. I wonder if that's going to happen with this teacher. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark. See where it takes you. Vashti grabbed her marker and gave it a good jab. There. Ooh, look at that red. The illustrator put that there to tell you how mad and frustrated she was. Definitely a fixed mindset. She pushed her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper towards Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. The next week, when Vashti walked into her art class, she was surprised to see that what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. Her attitude's kind of changing there. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Man, I think she is finally taking that fixed mindset and moving more towards a growth mindset. Remember in our science experiment? I made a world connection to the Jitters book with science, but remember in that experiment that if you let those fixed mindset feelings of frustration bubble up inside of you, you're not going to feel good. But you may start there, but eventually you could move towards a growth mindset. Something might push you towards being a more positive person. I think Vashidi's teacher is that person that pushed her towards a growth mindset. That's called the ripple effect. Positivity is contagious. Let's see what happens. Vashidi painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow and she discovered that she could make a green dot. Look at the colors and how it changes in the book. They're not so gloomy anymore and red. They're kind of bright. Her mind is growing. She just learned something new because she tried something that she didn't like in the beginning, and she's learning to like it. So she's growing from that experience. Vashidi kept experimenting. Lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashidi splashed her colors with a big brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashidi even made a dot by not painting a dot. Very clever. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashidi's mini dots made quite a splash. Wow. Look at her progress. Vashidi noticed the little boy gazing up at her. You're a really good artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashidi. Wow, she changed a lot. She was not like that in the beginning. She changed a lot. Me? No, not me. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashidi smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook. Oh, he was nervous. That reminds me of that book we read, First Aid Jitters. Oh, Sarah was so nervous. She was shaking too. The boy's pencil shook as he drew the line. She stared at the boy's squiggle and then said, please sign it. So you can see that growth mindset positivity is contagious. It caused a ripple effect. You know, when you throw a stone into a lake and ripples form around it. That's what happens when you hang around positive people. And when you're that positive person, you spread that positivity all around you. Unfortunately, that can happen the other way too. The ripple effect can be a bad thing if you're around people who are always negative and have a fixed mindset, or if you're that person too. We want to break free of that. Remember, fixed mindset and growth mindset are interchangeable. We try to find that balance. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel sad about something, but just don't stay there. Try to find a way to fight your way out of that and beat your fear. I heard Will Smith say one time, he said, if you're going to be afraid, or if you're afraid to do something and you can't beat the fear, do it scared. And that little boy at the end of the book, he kind of seemed scared and nervous, but he did it anyway. So remember that. Sarah and the First Aid Jitters, she went to school anyway. You have to beat that fear. And watch, you'll be surprised. Just like when we get into our reading series, you will surprise yourself, I promise. So today, I want you to tell me who you are as a reader. Every last one of you, all of you, you are readers. And I want to know what kind of reader you are. I want to know you as a reader. So you're going to make a dot that shows who you are as a reader. I kind of played around with this morning and I didn't get to finish. I wanted to do more crazy stuff like make more circles around. But this is what I started. I started my dot to show who I am as a reader. And I put a big heart in the middle because I love reading. I think reading's the best subject ever. It teaches you everything. Without reading, there would be no science. There would be no social studies. There would be no math even. Because in the real world, you have real world math problems to deal with, and you have to read. You have to read to solve those problems. Also, I love reading because I love being a teacher. I love teaching it. I put my dog here. This is Blondie. I'm going to add more color to her. I put Blondie here because I love reading with my dog. So your dog can show me where you like to read or who you like to read with. You can even draw a picture of your parents, your mom or your dad or your uncle or your aunt or brother and sister. If that's who you like to read with, draw them. I also drew a ghost. Now, it's not scary, but I drew a ghost here because I love reading scary stories. And if you saw my slideshow, you know that. I'm going to brainstorm more things to draw for my dot. So now it's your turn. I want to know who you are as a reader. So remember, this is a discussion assignment. So when you are done with your dot, you need to share with the rest of the class how it represents you as a reader. Have fun. Bye.